Hi, we're a couple hours late because we had the guys from Color Lock here, and I was working on the M5 interior, getting the leather up to spec, up to standard. So we're working on that all morning. So that. Chris is disconnected. Oh, hit the other red light on the focus right. I turned it off. I turned the volume all the way down. On he's number 3, I think. Number 2, number 3, or something like that.
1, 2. There we go.
He's
there
back.
I am, Bryce. All right.
You probably could have gotten away without having the mic on anyway.
So how are you? Were you pleased with the results on the M5?
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, the key is to just get it clean. Get it cleaned up and get the leather cleaned up. So yeah, we only did one seat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make Kyle have a homework assignment to watch the video, and then he'll have to finish it for me, so I don't have to do it. Because the video's done. I only need the video. So yeah, just
and only one clean seat.
Yeah,
that's all you really need.
I clean one seat and then pay somebody to clean the rest of the seats. Just like I polished that whole darn M5, I'm already going against my motto, which was to do the hood and then let somebody else do the rest of it. But yeah, I'm almost done with the M5. So after this podcast, I got to rush out there, and I want to do the show polishing the windows, polishing the trim. So knock that out, get that done. And then I also want to show the start of finishing polishing, which I won't finish because I've got to go to my sister's wedding in Jamaica tomorrow morning. Got to get up early and leave. So at some point, I got to home and pack. But I got to go to the gym, too. So I'm on a roll.
Gotcha.
I'm on a gym roll.
That's good. You're in a good mood.
I don't know about that.
Feeling good.
I don't know about that because I just got some bad news on the Corvette. So, yeah.
It's a Corvette. Is that the bad news?
Yeah. Well, Dave went to look at it for me. I already own it basically. So the paperwork's being FedExed to me now to sign, and he said, "Yeah, this thing's been. It looks like there's been a lot of repainting done to it." He says, "But it looks great." So I'm just going to buy it anyway and just roll the dice. I'm probably going to end up repainting a bunch of panels anyway because I want to get rid of the stupid Corvette emblems. So I'm going to probably have to repaint the front and rear bumpers if we fill those because I think there's a little divot in there. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it might be back before I am. I'm leaving tomorrow, Friday, and I'll be back, Tuesday, I think?
Yeah.
So I'm in the car. My guy Bubba is going to pick it up. So he said Monday or Tuesday. And
nice.
So we'll have it. You guys are going to be driving around in it. It's all the good stuff always shows up when I'm not here. I'm just pumped that my new camera showed up when I was here.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more Sonys. The Sony is eradicated from my life. Other than Bryce is still in my life, and he still has them. And yeah, I even upped his Sony game, so this is even worse. But yeah, I don't care what he uses as long as I don't have to touch it. But 5D Mark IV, we're using our C200, which I think Bryce has got figured out. Still look a little odd on the podcast. How we looking there? Looking a little janky still. Still got a little more work to do on that. But I think you'll see the Color Lock video. I think it's going to come out great. We had 3 mics set up, so we'll be able to hear everybody. We'll have all the levels dialed. We're getting it. Getting there. Getting rid of the stupid Sony color that I hate so much. But this sucker, Canon 5D Mark IV, on this little baby 24 fixed. I wanted a tiny little lens to have so that we could put this on the gimbal and it didn't weigh 400 pounds. Because, a mirrored camera, non-mirrorless, already weighs a lot. But I can already tell. I mean, I could handhold this sucker and it would work. The Sony, if you try to hold it like this, the image looks like you have shaky hand syndrome. So, yeah, I am pumped. Then again, I was pumped when I got the C200, and then I almost got rid of it. So, who knows?
So let's see. We have 240 people watching right now.
Ooh.
So going a few hours later in the day may be a good thing.
Yeah.
It also gave us some more time to get more questions here that I have. So.
Oh, okay. I like that. Steering me. It's getting me back on track.
Let me fire off a couple quick questions here for you that you can answer quickly. This is from EC on Facebook. Do you still use Optimum Car Wax, or do you only use Beadmaker for drying now?
I only use Beadmaker. Yeah. I mean, I don't find a need for Optimum, and in fact, I don't even have any in my cabinet anymore. Do we even? I don't think we have it in the store either.
No, it's all sold out.
Yeah, I haven't used it at all, so we can just take that down. I don't find a need for it, especially the Beadmaker works on a waxed or a coated car. So I don't see a need to have it in my arsenal. I don't want to have so many things. It's still a viable product, don't get me wrong. It's still great, and it still does well. I just, my process has changed, and I don't want to have a retail store. I want to have I want to have very specific things. And that I wouldn't call a progression. That's just a replacement. So Beadmaker's replaced that for me.
All right. Dan brought up this question on Facebook, which I actually, when you said this last week, I made a note to ask about it, and then I didn't. What does the washer mod do to your polisher? I heard you mention it in the M5 series. You also mentioned it last week. What is that? Exactly is that?
So that's something that Kevin Brown came up with. So when the Rupes polishers came to the U.S., they had a small little booth at SEMA. This is, as I understand it, that Kevin Brown and Todd Cooper-Ryder and maybe a couple of other detailers saw these polishers at SEMA, and their minds were blown. And then Kevin Brown, I think, was the first one to have it. His store is buffdaddy.com. So he got I guess, was the first one to bring it here. And, Todd Esoteric was either first or second. So those two guys brought it over first, from what I understand. And then Kevin found that the, first version, which is the LHR15 ES, LHR21 ES, they stalled a lot. So the pad, if you came off axis or you came up off of if the pad or backing plate wasn't flat, then it would stall. And the reason for that stall is there's a shroud, and the shroud makes contact with the backing plate, and then they add a little oil to the backing plate. So it's designed to contact. Now, the Italians, Rupes, said this is designed this way. It creates a Venturi effect, pulling air. There's a reason why there's holes in the there's like little circle holes in the backing plate. The design of that is that air comes through the foam or the microfiber pad, and then the Venturi effect pulls air up into the gear set, into the polisher, all the way through into the channel where where the electric motor is, and then you can see there's little vents on the side. So the idea is that it pulls air up through, and without that making contact, the shroud making contact with the pad or the backing plate, then you end up losing the Venturi effect, and by proxy you end up with a machine that runs hotter. Now, it's kind of like modifying a car. BMW says it's supposed to be 300 horsepower, and you go and you tune it, and you're getting 340 horsepower. The thing's still fine. So Kevin decided to make a washer modification. And so if you take the backing plate off, there's a little circle hole in there where the screw comes up through to torque down. Well, that circle hole has two flat sides or flat spots on it, so that the backing plate connects to the gear set and doesn't just flop around. So think of it's like kind of like this mouse here, where it connects. So the backing plate is recessed and then makes sure that it won't turn. So it's a circle, but with two flat spots on the side. And so what Kevin did is he just ground down the sides of a washer. Like think of I think it's an M12, maybe I think it's an M12 washer, and which is, let's say, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And so that 3/4 of an inch washer, he ground down the sides and fitted up into that, so it still maintained connection with the gear set. You wouldn't want to just put a circle washer, because then the backing plate could just spin without being attached to the gear set. And so that spaces it out so it doesn't touch the shroud, so it lifts the backing plate off the shroud, which in essence keeps the pad, doesn't completely eliminate, but helps the pad from stalling, meaning stop spinning. So the pad is always going to let's see what happens when it stops spinning. The pad is still moving in a Yeah, it stops rotating, but it's still oscillating. So it's still going in the smaller circular pattern, but the larger rotation stops. So you're still doing some work. So Rupez's argument is they want it that way, so that you're not damaging anything. And so this is one of those things where you kind of go back and forth. I found the washer mod much less necessary as you get into the next generations. The Mark III, I don't have mine washer modded and haven't found a need for it. And I find it runs a little warmer. So at least I haven't tested that, but I feel like it probably does. So I haven't found a need to washer mod it. So that's what that means. And you can tell if it's washer modded. If the thing spins freely, then you know that it's spaced out. If it's not, then if you have to like spin it with your hand and it doesn't spin freely, then you'll know. So that's the long answer to a short question.
Instagram question from OG Pear Tree. When will you be adding Hyperwash to the store, if ever? I'm running low on car soap, and I'm wanting to restock Hyperwash from your store.
I don't know. I'm still undecided on that. Adams' soap is still so great. The thing that will push me over the edge would be I had left some in my foam cannon, and I want to see if the having it sit there for a week or two kind of kills the suds, if you will. And if it doesn't and it still foams up like normal, then checkmate. Then I'll be offering it.
All right. Daniel on Facebook wants to know, how often should you wash your car that is OG spec with Jesscar 845 Beadmaker on it? Mine is never crazy dirty, but I'm doing it weekly, and I'm wondering if I can expect to see 6 to 8 months like you suggest with these products and proper techniques.
Yeah, I mean 6 months I think would be fair. When you get to 8-9 months, if I think getting 8 or 9 months, 10, 12 months out of it is more if it's like your second or third car and you're not driving it as much. But yeah, I mean washing it weekly I think is fair, and I think you'll get 6-7 months, especially if you're topping it all the time. A lot of it would be the contamination part of it. I think the Colonite will hold up, especially if you're topping it with Beadmaker. Really what's happening is eventually the Colonite's disappearing. You just end up with Beadmaker left over. But the issue eventually will be contamination, and then you'll want to strip it off and start over. But yeah, I mean, I think 6 months easy, unless it's sitting outside baking and just you're never cleaning it. The washing it part is the important part. Keeping it clean is helpful for maintaining it longer.
We have a super chat question here from Dallas O, who, as I recall, will be in the Tampa/Orlando area next week. He wants to know what day is the best to visit coming up to OGHQ, and then he gave us some options. Any of those will be in the area. Even though he's from Canada, we're going to let him come. And let's see, 11/12.
I like Canadians. Chris does.
I don't like. I like some Canadians. The 12th in the afternoon is good, or the 17th. Those are probably your best options. Just looking at the calendar here.
If you want me to be here, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see Matt.
I'm kind of hard to nail down at times. Just ask Chris. He always has to remind me. I'm running around all over the place. And just depending on how I'm feeling, like I'm constantly plugged in. It's just a question of where, so like if I show up here at 10, it's because I'm working on some project at the house, or sitting on my computer following up questions. These guys all think I'm taking naps, but
it's not entirely false. The Pan the Organizer is dropping in here, so I wanted to touch on that. That was one of my notes here. Do you want to discuss what you guys?
Yeah, so Pan and I had a really candid conversation for the podcast, and I changed my mind. So what I want to do is bait and switch people a little bit. I'm going to put that full podcast up as a Hexcast inside the Hex, so in the membership program. What I'm going to do, and this will hack some people off, but I don't freaking care because it's my channel and we did the work, so I'm going to do what I want. But I'm going to tease it a little bit in that what I'm going to do is we're going to give you 3 minutes of it, just kind of chopped up some of the highlights, like JRE clips, Joe Rogan clips. They'll do like some clips of the highlights, and then to watch the whole thing, you'll have to become a member. And Bryce, is it possible to create a monthly option easily, like a monthly payment option? What I'd like to do is I'd like to create so you can pay $60 for the year, or $240 if you wanted, discounts to shop in the store. What I'd like to do is create a $10 a month option, and you can just cancel it at any time. You're just paying for that month. So if somebody wanted to pay $10, get in there and binge watch everything that's in there, and then cancel it. I mean, it's more. It would be more expensive if you paid month to month at $100, but or $120 for the year. But I'd like to try to do that if we can.
That's good. You just addressed a question from Ryan Potts from Facebook. We ever offer monthly subscription for Behind the Hex?
Yeah, I just thought $60 is not that big of a deal, so I just assumed that people would not care. But I do love the option of like Hulu. I can sign up and pay and then cancel it tomorrow. I got to pay for a whole month, but then I can cancel it tomorrow and I can watch what I want to watch as long as I want to watch. I do that with Showtime all the time. Like, look, I don't want it forever. I'll pay $15, watch the whole season as Homeland in 2 months, and then cancel it. I do that with HBO because I don't, I find myself not watching it. So I love that model, the Netflix model, where you can come and go as you please, and I feel like people stay more. So yeah, I do like the idea of creating a monthly model, and I do think that the content is valuable. I think it's worth a lot more than $60. At first, I wasn't sure it was going to be, but now I'm certain that it is. And so I think I'd like to create that option if we can. So don't hold me to that. We're going to look at the platform and see if that's an option, if we can add that easily. But I'd like to do it where you can pay $10 a month, month to month. I know the natural math would be 5, but screw that. Other than 10, I got to get something out of this. And so I'm going to, the Pan the Organizer episode we're going to do, where Pan really digs deep. I'm asking things about like what, how do you stay objective when somebody pays you, money to make a review? And we go into that conversation. So I ask them the questions that I think everybody has. And, he and I, we're buddies. And so I'm able to ask him those things that maybe other people can't. And so what I decided, we get so personal that I decided I'd rather have that inside the Hex. And it'll hopefully make him a little less uncomfortable with how far I made him, pushed him. So this will be another ploy for me to get people to sign up, give me more money, because I bought a Corvette.
We have Dallas is chiming in with more super chat money here. Just bring all your cash with you here, Dallas, and just hand it to us so YouTube doesn't have to take their cut.
Hand it to my mom, because my mom will give it to me. I don't know about these guys.
Actually, just come while Matt's gone. He wants to know, he says, what about those prototype wands? Wouldn't hurt my feelings to be the first one in Canada. See, that's hurting your chances with one. He wants to.
I only have one.
You guys can arm wrestle
actually, I take it back. I do have 2. I don't have nozzles, though.
Yeah, that's kind of...
I'm sure I could be monetarily convinced. A couple $1,000, you're gonna have it. Yeah.
We'll see.
I only have 2, so, and I don't have 2 sets of quick disconnects. So yeah, we won't have it in time. It won't be here. You can look at it though. You can look at mine.
Let's see here. Another question. When are new videos coming to Hex members? I think tomorrow is the.
We should have one up tonight.
Yeah, tonight
or today. Mike's working on that right now. So I vlogged yesterday of our chaos of moving all the stuff out of Nextdoor. Chris next door saw it on cam. He looked on the camera. He said, "Are you gonna get that crap out of there?" I'm like, "Oh shoot, what are we gonna do with this?" So you'll get to see us, all hands on deck. Even Bryce was lifting some boxes and stuff. That was in Chris.
Bryce did a lot of heavy lifting yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. Even Michelle was out there. Everybody was out there. Everybody's lifting, carrying, moving. So I think that stuff is cool, that we all step outside our jobs, if you will, and just do what we got to do to get it done. No one's complaining. Well, everybody's complaining, but simultaneously, right? But no one says, no, I'm not doing that. We just do it. And it's cool to see and cool to be a part of. And, you got from, everybody just in there doing stuff, getting it moved. So you'll see this. So that'll be up. And then the Pan episode probably tomorrow we'll have up there. and then I'll have Bryce and Mike make the short. So the short is going to go on YouTube and going to go on the Facebook group. And hopefully that'll drum up some things. And really, I just think it's kind of funny. It'd be cool to kind of see people get hacked off when I say, "What about somebody paying you $10,000 to talk about their product?" And then Pan says 3 words, and then cut, go watch it inside the hex. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how people respond to that. I don't intend to do that a lot. It's just that, like, Pan's, his girlfriend makes an appearance in the podcast in the background, and so I feel more comfortable putting it up there where it's not really public. It's kind of semi-public, and so I think it's cool. And then I'll probably have them on again, and we'll do it for the people that are too cheap to pay for $10.
All right, your talk about yesterday and all the heavy lifting leads to a couple things here. Number one, Jonathan Edwards on Facebook. He has kind of a question. How ridiculously strong is Ted? Seeing him destroy handstand push-ups in your gym video has me curious. Since he's probably the one putting the fittings on hoses, no wonder I had to use a cheater bar to remove the QD from my Cobra Jet hose.
Yeah, Ted is sneaky strong. I think Ted squats like 450. He benches, close to 3. I think 295, and yeah,
strong dude.
Yeah, he deadlifts, 4 something, mid to high floors.
His deadlifts are like, he's only got to go up to like 3 inches. So Ted's super strong.
Yeah,
so there you go, Jonathan. That's the answer. Very strong. Roman also asks, when will we get the 1M specific giveaway items that we purchased? And I was going to address that too, speaking about us kind of stepping out of our job. Right before we came on here, actually, I shipped like 100 shirts out.
Yeah.
And so as they come in from those waves of orders that we did, as soon as we can, we're packing them up and shipping them out.
So what I did in this, and we'll have a bit, we had no idea, was anybody going to buy anything. So what I didn't want to do was end up $90K in the hole on the car and then $50K in the hole on shirts. And so what I did, and it's written very clearly in the description of every shirt, is, hey, this is built to order, right? So you order it, and then we're gonna build it, and we're gonna have it printed or have it created. And so as orders came in, so every week we were placing new orders to fill the last orders, but there's like a 2-week lead time. So I would guess in about 3 weeks we'll have them all out, something like that. The other issue is that Los Angeles Apparel, which we didn't factor into the equation, is built to order. And everybody trying to talk me out of those shirts. I want those shirts. Those are the best shirts. And so we're building them per order, and they're building them per order, and so then we end up with weeks behind. But we'll get them all out to you, and they're worth the wait. So yeah, we'll get it. And no, we're not freaking canceling any orders. Give me a break because you didn't win. So if you send that email, just don't do it. We're not responding to that. It's ridiculous.
Chris Cooper wants to know, will you be putting a ceramic coating on the Yeti SB100?
Yep.
That's your bike, for those not in the know.
I was thinking about doing PPF on it too. They actually sell like a pre-cut PPF kit for that bike. I was thinking about it. But I'll ceramic coat it for sure. I'll be a G-Technic CSL.
All right, on the subject of bikes here, Trevor wants to know, what model/size is your old giant mountain bike seen in the videos in the wash bay? Will that one be for sale when the Yeti arrives?
No, I'll probably keep it. It's a Giant Anthem 29er. I think it's like a 2012, and I think it's a 3. Yeah, it's a Giant Anthem 29er. And no, it goes 0, 1. I think it's a 2. So 0 is their highest, and then 1, and then 2. So I think mine's a Anthem 29 or 2. It's either a 2 or a 3. It was like $3,200 or something like that. And it has a 4-inch travel suspension, but it's an XC type bike, which makes me really uncomfortable. It's just not a comfortable bike, but I'm gonna keep it because Michelle jumps on it. She doesn't care about size and fit and all that. She jumps on it to ride with Ryan at times. So I'm probably just gonna keep that thing, and then maybe it'll be like my heavy rain bike or something like that. I don't know. But it's an XL.
All right. Peter King wants to know, he just purchased a used car, and it seems to bead water pretty well. What's the best way, if any, to tell if it has a coating or something on it already?
That's a hard one. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you could try using all-purpose cleaner, but I don't like that as an option. You try using like a decontamination soap or Purple Power or something like that to see if that strips it off. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. I would just decon it like normal. And then, so I would do decon soap, and then I would iron remove, and then I would clay or auto scrub, and then see if water's still beating like crazy, then you'll know that it's a coating likely, and you're going to have to get that off with a polish. Regardless, you're going to have to polish it anyway, so I would go through the whole decontamination process.
Matt D on Instagram says, do you have any thoughts on Meguiar's interior detailer for light dusting and touch-ups while using P&S interior cleaner for heavier soiled areas? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like any of the Meguiar's. They've sent all of them to me, all the professional stuff. I didn't like any of them. I didn't dislike any of them. There's none of them. Bryce and I actually had seats out. We had the 1M seats, which were all dirty from sitting at P&S or PSI's shop. And so we actually got all the different leather and interior cleaners from Meguiar's, mixed them up and put them in spray bottles and tested them all out, and section by section, and none of them really wowed us, and so that's when I decided I'm going to do Griot's interior cleaner until somebody said, dude, I think you're selling P&S short. You need to give that a shot. So that combined with the fact that Griot's is going to be 20% margins, and then they weren't going to let me buy it direct. I was going to have to buy it from Auto Geek. I was like, frickin' screw that. Combined with when I met Richard Griot, he didn't even know anything about any of his own products, and I just said, I'm done with that. So,
all right, Ethan Crawford on Instagram. He's in Scotland. Been looking for covers, etc., for his cars when they go away for the winter. Been drawn in by the car capsules. They look really good. Any plans for videos in the near future or on the back burner? Yeah,
so we just added them all to the store, real lazy retail style, where we just kind of took the descriptions from their site and photos to get it up, mainly to kind of get the structure of it built. And what I'm going to do here, so actually, can you add that to the list? I need to get one of each of them, like one a week or one every 2 weeks, and we need to open it up. I think one every 2 weeks would be enough, because I don't want to ram it down people's throats, but I want to get it in here in HQ, open it up, so unbox it, show people how to assemble it, take tons of photos, so we don't have stock photos. We actually have photos, because the car capsule guys I don't think they have great photos, and show you size and fit and finish and how it all goes together, all the different versions of them. I'll even get the motorcycle ones. Bryce can bring his dirt bike over here. We can stick it in there and see how it works. And so yeah, I want to do a whole series of each version, even the indoor ones versus the outdoor ones versus the showcase versus just the regular car capsule. So yeah, we're gonna have a whole, we'll have a whole playlist, but each product will have a video for it. So I'm gonna buy one of each, one at a time, and work my way through it. We're gonna be drop shipping those for the time being. We don't have anywhere to put giant car capsules, so that's how we're gonna set that up. I make, what was it? We were making 20% margins on them, and they're paying for the shipping. So I make a few bucks on them when we sell them. So it would be really beneficial to me if you bought it from me, and it's not going to cost you any more than buying it direct. Except for you get to chase us down if there's an issue, and I know them pretty well, and we're going to know them even better because we're going to have these great, fantastic videos and great photos of each one as we work through it. But it's going to take us 6 months or so to get through all of them.
There's a lot of them.
A couple weeks, yeah.
Let's see. No, I think I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly. Sorry. He wants to know, anyway, I can buy an OG coin. So as Bryce kind of addresses, yes, we have some extra. Just email Kyle at Obsessed Garage, and we'll figure out a way to get you one of those. Let's see. Dustin wants to know, if I'm not wanting to use Brake Buster in a foam cannon, what is a recommended dilution ratio for maintenance washes?
I just spray it on straight up, right out of the bottle. So I don't think you need to dilute it. Yeah, so I wouldn't dilute it at all. I just use it straight up right in the spray bottle.
All right, Brad wants to know from Facebook, will we ever get a video of you taking an old stinky car and making it OG spec? You detail cars that are almost perfect, blah, 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 so you don't want to take any of Adam LZ's crappy cars or...
No. Yeah, the M5 is about as old and stinky as you get. No, I thought about maybe we'll do Ted's car.
Yeah, his is not in terrible shape.
Yeah, I mean, the paint, he just has normal, water spots and things like that, but... No, nothing like, I don't know, I'm just not into that. I don't want to get all dirty. I'm going to be wearing masks and suits and, and hazmat suits and just to get some views on YouTube. I'm not really into that. I'm never going to have a car like that, and almost every single person that's watching this stuff isn't going to either. So...
All right. On Instagram, JRM2389 wants to know, have you visited Krensla? If so, what plans or ideas will you have for the next OG spec pressure washer?
Going up there the 19th and 20th of September, so in a few weeks. And so trip is booked. Flying up. I'm going to be there for, roughly a day and a half. We're going to tear down, hopefully have some bruised and battered ones to tear down and rebuild. We're going to sort of open up and talk about the pumps and how they work and why they're better. We're going to, again, create a whole maintenance procedure. That's the main reason we've sold over 2,000 of these things now. And at some point, they're going to need new seal kits and things like that for some people that use them really often. Like my 9-year-old one in there doesn't need a seal kit yet. I mean, but so a lot of people who use it once every other week or something like that is not, it's going to be many, many years before they need to do any maintenance. But we're going to talk about oil change, type of oil, how you would do a seal kit, what are the type of maintenance, other potential failure points or maintenance points. And then while I'm there, I'm hopefully going to convince them to give me what I want to create. The 1322s create. I would like to create an in-between. So we talked about this a couple of podcasts ago, but the 1322, and then I have the KWS 700 and something in between, like a dedicated 20-amp version, that does like 2.5 gallons a minute or something like that. So I'd like to have, let's call it the 1522 or the 2022 that has, a little bit more output, something like that, probably be in the mid twos. The KWS 700 is $3,500. The 1322 is $950. So maybe something in between. I don't like to target the price points, but what I would guess it would cost, $2,000 or something like that for that type of machine. I'm also going to do some videos on. I wanted to play with the other series, the other cart model series, which is the 399, 499, 599 series. So we're gonna play with those a little bit, and then talk to them about creating. I'd like to create an OG version of the K1122. One, so I don't have to keep selling the 1122s for everybody else, every other retailer in the planet. And then secondly, I don't want to get rid of the gun and the wand, which I don't know if they're going to buy into that. And I would like to have some stripped down versions where I can add my kits to. They're just not so keen on modification, even though I'm modifying it to spec. So it's going to take a little bit of convincing, but I want to sit down and have a conversation about that. And then in order to get that, I'm going to have to sign, blanket orders, and I want to create some agreements with them and get it in writing and things like that. Because right now, they're at risk and I'm at risk, so we're going to sit down and chat about all that stuff.
All right. Before we got a lot of Corvette questions, and that sparked some interest because that's the picture that Bryce used for today's cover. But Dan Drury on Facebook, he wants me to answer a question, so I'll address this one real quick. Chris, what's it like working with/for Matt? Which then sparked some discussion here with Michelle chiming in.
Uh-oh.
She said, great question. I want to hear his answer on this one.
Go for it. I'll shut up. I'll listen. You want me to leave the room?
No. And then there's discussion about if I can be honest or not and be truthful, as Michael Bear says. Working with and for Matt it's a lot of fun. It's challenging at times. Like anything, it has its pros and cons. I'm sure you'd say the same about me. The one, it goes both ways as a pro and con. And he'll own up to this pretty quickly that he likes to create chaos. He kind of jokes about that. But like he'll just dream something up or do something and then say, okay, now figure it out. Which is, for the first 5 or 10 seconds, is like, oh, crap, now what? But then it's actually kind of fun to figure out, okay, like when we have to import spray bottles from Germany. Well, I've never done that before, so how do you do that? So that's kind of a fun part of the job. I'll tell you this, because I came from education. I was a teacher for many years. And any of you who have worked in public education know that resources are scarce, and it isn't always friendly to people who are trying to do things or think outside the box. It's very, here's what you have. Well, can I have this to help me do that? No, we don't have any money for that. So that's never an issue. I don't have a lot of demands. I don't need nice fancy cameras for what I do. But I know that if I did, I could go to him and say, here's what I need and here's why I need it. And he'd be like, yes, boom. When I first started, he made sure that I had the training that I needed in QuickBooks. He signed me up for this leadership course with his coach. So he invested a lot of time and money into me. So I've appreciated that because you kind of took a chance on me when I first came on, because you knew I had certain aptitudes and stuff, but there are certain things you're like, well, maybe he can do this. I don't know if he can. But so that's I guess that's kind of a short answer. I enjoy it. There are days I go home and wonder, why am I doing this? This is crazy. And I got people yelling about me because they can't get BreakBuster, and like, if that's the worst thing you got going, you're doing all right. But most days I really enjoy it, and that's a good thing. Yeah,
it's interesting because I think there's a stigma, like a lot of like the people that don't understand what I'm doing here. That I get the comment occasionally where someone says, "You must be horrible to work for." Because I am you're so OCD. It's just, I hate that stupid. It doesn't even make any sense. And I am obsessed, and I do demand a lot of everybody. But I've also chosen, like Chris or Bryce, I've chosen people that I knew could do well with me. I don't even have to demand much. Because most of the time you guys do it, so you do it before I even have to make the demand. And a lot of it for me has been difficult learning how to let people do it. And the thing that's happened by proxy of all this chaos that I create, I don't have a choice but to let go. And the further removed I get from things, I've said this a bunch of times, I don't even know how to ship something now. Like, I don't know where to start. Like, I don't even have a login to SKU Labs, to our inventory management software.
Nor will you ever have one.
Right. I don't even have a login to it because we'd have to pay another, license fee just for me to log in. Now I can log in. I have the password for those of you nervous Nelly, engineers on here are going to say you're ridiculous. I can log in, but I don't have a login because, I don't, and it's not that I couldn't figure it out. It's I'm purposely staying focused on the fact that I don't have a job. I have a position. My position is the leader of this, of this organization. And, my job is to rainmake, is to go out and to sell product and to, to bring people here, whether it's through building the brand or, doing things like, sharing the information of Color Lock or something like that today. And so I'm relying on guys like Chris to do that. And I think by proxy, if I was micromanaging you, I would suck to work for me, I think. But because I can't, and I don't want to, I think it becomes an environment where hopefully people don't mind the gig, so.
And part of it was I knew you before.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I didn't know what kind of person you were and what I was getting into.
But you did take a risk. I mean,
right.
Who knows? I mean, you left your career and who knows if this was going to work. We had some decent numbers and we've grown it from there. I still haven't really collected much of a paycheck, but it's I think we're gonna make it. But in the beginning, who knew? It was touch or go, touch and go.
For my wife Megan, it was much more.
Yeah,
she was much more nervous about it than I was because I figured we'd be all right, and if not, couple 100 million other jobs out there.
Yeah.
But Dan, I'm glad you asked that, because now I can remind Matt that we have to have our little meeting after this for me and him to discuss some things.
Yeah, shit.
But here's the good news, because I'm the only person you have to have this meeting with. Like, for everyone else, when something comes up, I then would go do it, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, we're not going to have these. We're not at the bank, so we're not going to have these kind of meetings.
You're not going to have these kind of meetings.
No one is going to have these meetings. We'll get. I'll let you do your spiel, and you can make your sales pitch to me, and then I won't shut you down.
All right.
But we might have to push that back till Wednesday, because I've got to get these videos done.
All
Remember,
right.
I've got a positioned uphold here. Yeah, you can schedule it.
Yeah.
Better make it Wednesday afternoon, because you know I'm going to be running around like a psychopath for a while.
Scheduling things works real well. Add that to the list of frustrations I have with the job.
Yeah, I am a true entrepreneur, and that I'm kind of hard to nail down. I'm living this advice from Naval and of all podcasts that I talk about often, where he adamantly and vehemently, I don't even know what that word means, but denies meetings. Does everything in his power to not do any meetings whatsoever, ever. I like that. I like that philosophy, because my freaking partners in wealth management want to meet every day, every single day, at least once a day, sometimes twice. I don't want to meet any day ever about anything. So write that down.
Is Matt going to SEMA again this year? Jamie B wants to know.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I love
That's like your
SEMA.
thing you like, right?
Yeah, I need to go to CES too, because I would love that just as much.
Consumer electronics? Is that
Obsessed home theater. Yeah.
We have a super chat here from somebody over across the pond, Mr. Megacone. This might be maybe a Hex light or a Hex behind the scenes sort of thing. Can you tell the sweepstakes queen story?
What's that?
I guess he's talking about all those old ladies who send in entries.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't talk about that.
We'll save that for another day.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have some discussion in the chat. Bryce will talk to you about afterwards of Sony versus Canon when it comes to video. I'll bring that up now. Let's get to a couple of Corvette questions from Aptitude on Twitter. Since GM paint quality is noticeably worse than BMW, or especially Porsche, what plans do you have to deal with that?
Well, Dave, my friend Dave Lodi, just went up and poured over the car, and he said, there clearly have been some paint work done. He says it has PPF over every single panel, and he said there's some things that look like they've been repainted. Now, I'm a little less concerned about that, because I'm going to repaint the front and rear bumpers anyway, to get rid of the stupid emblems. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like that. I don't know if we'll see what it looks like. I'll probably end up yanking all the PPF off, painting it, those couple of areas, and then correcting it, and then figuring out am I get a PPF or not. So not really sure with it until I see it, get eyes on it, get it here in person. I think I'm going to go forward and just buy it and just roll the dice on it. It's $75,000 for a $120,000 car. I don't think I'll lose on it, because whatever, if there was an accident, the Carfax is clean. Dave even called the Jim Ellis, the dealership it was bought from and serviced at, and they didn't say anything. But it is a little odd. The car is a little odd in that it has 22,000 miles at 2018, but it's the only carbon 65 manual for sale in the country, and it's clean. So from 6 feet away, everything looks great, and I mean, I'm not buying this for the rest of my life anyway. I want it to be really good, but the 1M had a story too. And so I'm kind of looking forward to having some stuff to deal with, to get dialed in. That's what I do. I didn't want it to be a disaster like the previous question, but I wanted it to be pretty decent. So, yeah, we'll deal with the paint issues, and if I have to repaint a couple of little things here and there, I'll do that.
Have a good suggestion here from Russell in the chat. T-shirt idea: do meetings elsewhere. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
Quick Corvette question here from Sean on Facebook. What exactly didn't you like about the C7 key fob? Never even considered it was subpar. Realized they aren't as nifty as the little mini 911 fobs. Is that what the gripe is?
Yeah, it looks like a freaking hunk of junk, like a square piece of crap with no design. It's the same thing as the Corvette, though. Look at it. It's made by dudes. It's just the hacky design. It's just, the whole thing looks douchey. The key looks cheap, and it's like that Apple, like that MacBook there. There's clear design, and it's just everybody else has copied that design. So Chevy doesn't innovate squat. They're just copying everybody else. And so that key is like a crappy copy of what every other, wireless or, keyless key is. I just saw it in the picture. The guy sent it to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to carry that piece of crap around. It just looks like some 50-year-old white dude designed it with no artistic ability whatsoever. That's the same thing as the whole C7 in general. It's some, group of 55-year-old white dudes who don't know jack about what things are supposed to look like. They have Coors Light signs in their garage, and they have, red stripes and checkerboard, red flooring, parquet tile with a diamond plate everywhere.
And trophies.
That's where I'm headed. I'm gonna head into that deep dark territory, and so you guys are gonna either love me or hate me for it. But I'm gonna come out alive, I promise you.
Andrew on Facebook asked something, and a lot of folks in chat have also asked the same thing. Do you have any plans about your first mod, or what you're most excited about once you get your hands on it? Removing the stickers.
Well, I bought wheels yesterday, so I bought some pretty, what are they, Vossen something or others. I've never been a big Vossen guy, mainly because they are like, I'm talking about that New Jersey douchebag thing. Well, it's like the New Jersey douchebags moved to Miami and started a wheel company. That's again been my perception of them from the beginning. It's probably completely off basis, so I've never really been into their design, but I've been searching around. Forged lines look like 55-year-old white dude wheels. HREs, I'm not freaking spending $12,000 on wheels again. It's not worth it. I'm done with that. BBS doesn't make wheels for a Corvette. And yeah, I was looking at TE37s, but it just doesn't look right on that thing. And so, I'm going to get the same old design that I get all the time that was on all my other cars. People are going to be complaining about, but I should have some decent concave. And so I'm getting some satin black. I think they're called VS1s, V something or a V21s or something like that. But Sean for PSI got me set up on them, so we ordered them. They should be here about 6 weeks.
All right, let's see. Eric on Instagram had said, what appealed to you about that carbon package Z06? You mentioned that it was the only one for sale. Why were you eyeing that particular?
Yeah, I was looking at red ones, and I was looking at like Elkhart Lake Blue, but I think that's only a 2019 color. I don't freaking know. So I wanted either blue, red, silver, or white. And the Carbon 65 has, I forget what that's called, but it's like ceramics matrix gray or white or something, but it's like a grayish white that's pretty sweet. I think it's sick. So that was the first thing I liked about it. I like the fact that it has blue carbon ceramics, so it's blue what are those not rotors, freaking calipers. And then I like the interior because it's largely Alcantara, and I normally hate deviated stitching, but it has just a really subtle blue stitching that I thought was really sick. And I'll freaking punt those stickers off of there in 5 seconds. I'm going to be yanking that darn PPF off as quick as you can blink an eye to get the stupid stickers off the car. But that, I think, is going to look cool. So, so I think black wheels. I ordered satin black wheels. Go figure. Predictable for me. But the also some of the carbon accents of the car are pretty sick. So I just thought it was my favorite. It was the first time I'd looked at a Corvette and said, man, I kind of want that. And so I found one with a little bit of a shady history here. I'm not sure. It's $75,000 for the thing. I should call the guy and try to negotiate. I'm just so bad at that. I just paid sticker for it. And yeah, I'm such a schmuck. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool.
All right, Connor on Facebook asked a question, and I don't know what this means, but I'll ask it anyway. Any interest in doing some sort of anti-laser priority setup on the new Corvette?
Well, it'd be, AI Priority is a company that makes parking sensors that happen to be laser jammers. No. The cops don't really use laser around here very much. And I have 5 cars. So which car do I put it on? And you put it on all of them. You're talking, $5,000, for a whole setup between jamming and radar detection. I don't really drive like an idiot. I haven't gotten a ticket since 2006. I haven't been pulled over for speeding since 2006. So, I really don't feel the need for it. The areas that I go really aren't, laser's not a big deal. Now, if there was more laser around, maybe I would, but I tend to only really speed in areas where there's nobody around, so I'm out like in back country roads where nobody's out there. And then that's where I like to have radar just to keep me out of trouble. Because, sometimes it's 35 miles an hour on a desolate road and I'm doing 80, or 90. And people like to give me a hard time for that, but I got big brakes. So, and I pay attention. Anyway, so yeah, no, that's a great option. I just don't find it necessary. And then I'm always changing cars, so then I'd have to be yanking it out all the time or selling it with the car, and losing it would cost a lot of money. I'd rather pay the tickets. I mean, it would never come close to a cost savings for me.
All right, I have a question here from Gary on Facebook. Is there a difference between O&R and Opticoat Optimum No Rinse besides the look of the bottle?
I don't think so. I think it's like, what are the one's blue and the other one's yellow. No, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same formula. It's just that that fancier, prettier looking bottle is sold through Optimum dealers only. So it was like a way for them to create a line for like their detailers and their local retailers and stuff like that. I don't know that's I guess it's available online at some dealers, but it was just a way for them to kind of rebrand. But I'm pretty sure, unless they've changed it since I was there a couple of years ago, I'm pretty sure it's the same formula, just a different color and scent.
We have a few people chiming in the chat saying that Corvette paint is soft as a stick of butter in the Florida sun. You definitely want to PPF it.
Well, I think it depends, because I think some of the older Corvette stuff is hard as a rock. I know it because I've dealt with it. So, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
All right, and remind us again where you got this Porsche print on the wall behind us. We had a couple people.
That's an acoustic panel. It's a monster bass trap. No, it's not a monster bass. It's a 242 bass trap. And it's from GIKacoustics.com. They're based out of Atlanta. And you go to Art Wall, and you can submit a photo, and then they assign an artist to it to make sure that you choose your gap, like how big, like we have a 2-inch gap. How big of a gap do you want per panel? And then they create it from your photo.
Ethan here in the chat asked a question that I also saw, I think last week. It may have been from him or someone else. Any chance we can get Brian Orr back on the podcast as a throwback episode?
Yeah, we can do that for sure. He'd come on.
Want to know what he's up to now?
Yeah, his HVAC school YouTube channel is growing quickly, and then his podcast, the HVAC school podcast, is massive. So he's been killing it. So yeah. Oh yeah, he always has a junky car, because he can't drive and doesn't care about it.
Whatever that little thing.
I think they got rid of that thing. Yeah, that was his son's quote. His son's, the Triumph TR hunk of junk. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get him to come up. I can always convince Brian to do anything, and he complains about it, and then he says I only call him when I need something. which is probably true.
All right, we had a couple folks asking about the video from last night with the gentleman who won the 1M. A lot of talk about that and all the goodies he got as part of that deal. So you just want to kind of tell a summary of that story and how that all went down?
Yeah, so we did the drawing. So we took all of our, I never talked about the stupid mail-in entries, but we took all our mail-in entries and we took all of our people who actually are good citizens and paid money, and put those all in the spreadsheet and generated randomly, a winner. And luckily, the dude who bought a Krensla and bought a Hex Plus membership, so he had he had 6 entries, so he had a 6 in 5,400 chance to win, the car, won it. Now, he wasn't watching live. He's not in the Facebook group, but he watches all the videos. So it was like a perfect situation. It was a guy who, is part of the deal, has been, watched videos of like Michelle getting the M5, and I don't think he watches every video, but he watches a lot of the stuff. And so he knew me, and he knew the house, and he, it felt like he'd been there before. So I called at 5 o'clock, and I didn't tell him he won. I just said, hey Jim, this is Matt Mormon from Obsessed Garage. Give me a call. You guys heard me. Give me a call when you get a chance. Wanted to chat with you about something. So he called me maybe 15 minutes later after we'd finished the podcast. And I said, hey Jim, this is Matt Mormon. He says, yeah, man, what's going on? What's up? And I said, did you know that when you signed up for Hex Plus, that through the membership program, did you know that you were entering a chance, to win the 1M? He said, oh yeah, I've been watching all the videos on it. I said, you won the thing, so you got to come get it. And he's like, holy crap. He's like, you're not going to believe this, but like the lease for my 340i is up next week. And I was trying to figure out what car I'm going to get. He says, I'm going to freaking drive the heck out of this thing. I said, well, shoot, you're more man than me to drive this thing. So he said, I said, when do you want to, how did we come up? He's like, well, what do we want to do? I said, well, shoot, I don't care. You can come up tonight, tomorrow, whenever you want. It's ready to go. It's washed. It's clean. It's covered. He said, well, shoot, maybe I can come up there tonight. I said, do you have a pickup truck? He's like, well, no. But let me get with my son and see if he can, drive me up. We'll bring my car up and come get it. And so he called me maybe 30 minutes later and said, my son has a Tundra, extended cab. We're going to bring that. We're on our way. We're going to leave at 6. So I called him at 5. He left at 6. I went to the gym. I didn't realize he had a truck. Actually, he said he didn't. He texted me that, we brought the truck, by the way. So then I'm at the gym. I rush home. I'm running up and down my stairs getting all the stuff, the seats and the, all the parts and the brakes. I mean, each rotor weighs a ton, just carrying all this crap down, sweating. And so then they got here at like 8:15. And you guys, from there, you saw the rest. You saw the video. The only part that you missed was we're there. I'm giving him a tour around the car. His son is there. His grandson is there. And so, Michelle. So Ryan and Wendy's kids, Wendy who works here, Michelle's BFF, their kids. So their 3 kids, my 2 kids are in the pool. And so Michelle says, hey, you want to go swimming? And I'm like, Michelle, they're like leaving in like 5 minutes. And she's like, no. So she takes him. And so then I'm like, then next thing you know, we're all in the back patio hanging out. I'm sure the dude wants to go drive his freaking car. And I'm like, Michelle, we got to get this kid out of the pool because they want to go. So then, so I was like, so do you want to, this is kind of an odd question. Like his son's never met me before. I'm like, do you want to leave your son here? We'll go over to HQ. And he's like, I said, look, I get it. That I wouldn't do that either. But he says, I feel like I know you guys already. So anyway, he got out of the pool. We went over to HQ, and I don't have to ship the car. I don't know how many thousands of dollars it was going to cost me to ship it wherever I had to ship it, but a lot. It was going to cost me to ship it. It was going to cost me to ship all the stuff. We're going to have to package everything up. Then I was going to be worried about how is the car going to get there? They're going to mess it up. And, and I just, so all that stress was off of me. And I don't know, I just started walking on the shelves, and I'm like, dude, we need to get you set up. And so then, my mom was darn near crapping her pants. You could hear her kind of gasping in the background. I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, well, if we're going to do this, I need to do this. I'm like, I got 20 of each towel in my cabinet, so you need 20 of each towel. You need these are the 3 polishers you need. This is what you need, this, and I loaded it all up. So, yeah. So we didn't even have room or like stuffing stuff on the front seats in the truck because I had the black GTS wheels to put in the car in the truck, and so there was stuff in between him and his son. His son had to ride home in the front seat of the truck, and yeah, it was just cool. It couldn't have been a better situation. That 4 hours later the deal was done. I signed the title over. Yeah, I got to call the insurance company. Amazing, and the right kind of guy won it. It was just perfect. Couldn't have been any better.
Now the discussion of the Corvette that you're getting now, folks are asking, is the plan to do the same thing there? Did you want to do another giveaway? How's that sitting?
Well, the mail-in bullcrap entries made me not want to do this again. It's freaking stupid. The fact that you can even do that is ridiculous. But the odds prevailed in that the people who actually paid and got more spots, the odds prevailed, and the right person won. I didn't care who won, but I wanted it to be somebody that wasn't that was bought in.
There's a couple thousand.
Yeah, so you got a few hundred of douchey mail-in, I don't want to pay you entries, and because I'm just trying to get a free lunch, and then you get people who were supporting the cause, supporting this whole thing, and so the odds prevailed, and if the odds didn't prevail, I would have first kicked through and punched through that wall over there. And then I would have probably cursed out the person that won it. And I would have made them some lowball offer and called them the worst things you could think of as a human. And I would have never done it again. And would have told everybody about how much of a douchebag that person was. And, yeah. So the Corvette, I think I'll probably do it again. It was such an amazing experience that I think we'll probably do it again. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to need the car for at least 8 or 9 months. I think. Well, we'll see unless I hate it. But I'm going to need the car for a while because I'm going to have to learn a bunch of stuff, and the freaking websites are garbage on anything Corvette. Shopping for stuff is darn near impossible. Like, how are you selling a suspension for a car and your website has no information about it? I'm on LG Motorsports. Like, yeah, here's a $6,000 suspension. We're going to tell you nothing about it. And there's no pictures. One picture. It's freaking the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, make videos, take photos, and write a description and give me some information. Now I have to call them, and they're wondering why. And they'll probably be busy all the time, and no one ever picks up the phone because everybody's calling them because they haven't provided any information. There's a reason why nobody needs to call us because we've given them all the information. It's like the stupidest, and every single garbage Corvette company, it's the same freaking story. They're all stupid and lazy. So that's going to take some time to sift through stupid and lazy.
You got super chat here from Paul, who, not a question, just says the one in pickup video was great. Matt, you're one in generous individual.
Well, remember, people, I made $70,000 on the thing, so for me to kick in a few grand in detailing supplies, I guess I should shut up and just take credit for it. But it's just I don't know. I just do what I think is right. So thanks for that.
We got a suggestion here. LS1 Tech is a good forum. Have you been on that one? Have you seen that one?
No, I signed up for Corvette forum, which is like the worst.
Corvette
sucks. God, it sucks.
You get a T-shirt as part of that, by the way.
Oh, I'm excited. I do.
Yeah.
Paid $200. I became a lifetime gold member, platinum member, or something.
I filled out the form, so it's on its way.
Oh, Lord.
It's going to be great. It's a great looking shirt.
You can have that shirt. Did you order XXL?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
I knew you weren't going to. I'll be wearing that one at least once a week. We have a few people here in the chat, and also Lucas on Facebook. We'll shift away from the Corvette for a second. With the new Porsche Taycan recently unveiled, what are your thoughts about it and electric automobiles in general?
Yeah, I don't give a crap about that.
How do you pronounce that? Did I say that right?
Taycan.
Taycan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably gonna be something I'll own at some point, but I don't really care at this point. I mean, we looked at buying a Tesla, and so I bought a freaking 600 horsepower M5 instead. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really occur to me to even care to. I watch MKBHD's video about it. It's funny hearing him talk about cars. There's no jack. People talking about 0 to 60 times. It's like, what do you care? I mean, how many times are you going to go 0 to 60 in 2 point whatever seconds? Never. I don't even want to go that fast. It hurts. That would hurt your soul. Stupid. So, and then, difference between 280 mile range and 300 mile range. How about I can go infinite range with my freaking gas tank? I have to sit there for an hour to charge the thing, Oh, you can sit there for 20 minutes. I can sit there for a half an hour to charge my car up when I'm on the turnpike. What am I going to do?
Go eat your burger and go stop at the McDonald's opposite charger.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want to get gas and keep going. I don't even want to drive anywhere anyway. So what does it matter? I don't know. But I would, if I was at a Tesla, I'd just drive around town.
So you would love it because it drives itself.
Yeah, I like those. So in those moments where I can't drive and I'm freaking out, I always have the autopilot backup. That's what's kind of cool. So, yeah, I don't know. What I don't like are douchey electric car only people that are just tools. Just, it's cool. I get it. I don't dislike them at all. I just don't, I don't like them. I don't dislike them. I think it's great. I think we're going to need them. I think we're headed in that direction. I think that it's part of the reason why I don't think I would ever build a parts type business, like obsessed car parts or whatever. Sean and I have talked about that at PSI. Maybe I'll get involved a little bit in something like that just to be able to deliver, systems for the cars that I have experience with. Because ultimately there's a lot of people that have a question. They're like, well, just tell me what to frickin' buy. So they don't have to make a bunch of mistakes. So they don't have to buy 14 exhausts or end up with a freaking IPE or Army Tricks or some garbage.
I have a couple questions from Instagram about Colonite power lock things here. After coating a car in power lock and 2 coats of Colonite, then beadmaker, do I still need to be worried about water spots? I'm specifically worried about rain on a sunny/warm day.
All right, read that all again. Ryan is knocking on the window.
After coating a car in power lock and 2 coats of Colonite, then beadmaker, do I still need to be worried about water spots? I'm specifically worried about rain on a sunny/warm day.
Yeah, it still happens, but you'd have the same fears with a coating, So, I happened to my M3. Yeah, so yeah, you do need to be concerned. Right, want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
What were you doing? Did you just get back from school?
Yeah. The lamest place on earth.
What? What?
So that's the lamest place on earth.
You didn't have aftercare today? No sports or anything?
No.
Do you got football tonight?
Yeah.
Are you sad that we're leaving for vacation and you're staying here?
No.
You don't care?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Because I get to stay with Miss Wendy.
Oh, she's way cooler than us?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Your buddies get to hang out?
Yep.
Okay. You got any other thing to say to the people?
The Corvette's ugly.
Oh, yeah, you're sad. You wanted the red Corvette?
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to like the Corvette at all?
Yeah, probably.
Or do
If
you
lower it?
Lower it.
Yeah, teach them well here. What about, do you think you're going to like, do you think it's going to be the fastest one that we have?
Wait, how fast
You got
does
to
it
talk
go?
into the mic.
How fast does it go?
Well, see, we need to get off of you. How fast does it go? It's like how fast.
Well,
Just
what's
fast
the
is it?
Horse mile. Or
Horsepower.
Horsepower, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's 650 horsepower.
That's a lot.
What was the other one?
With the M5?
The
GT350.
The one that went 800 horsepower. Which one was that?
Oh, there was a modified red one that we were looking at that Rye wanted me to get that had like different pulley, had a Eaton larger supercharger. So it was all built, ported and polished heads or whatever the heck they'd call that crap, a bigger cam, and it was like 860 horsepower or something like that. I didn't want one that was already done. You know, that one had like 4,000 miles on. The dude still had the cellophane on the back seats and on the door jams, and it still had the sticker like on the the display for the radio and all that stuff. Yeah, but and he clearly had spent a lot of money and had it all done right. But I didn't want one that modified. That I want to experience the car from scratch.
Spend a lot of money on those.
Ryan and I designed my OG spec
Did it say it?
Metcon 5s.
Oh yeah. Say it.
All right, Ryan, you want to hang out in here, or you gonna be quiet?
I think I'm.
Okay, peace out.
All right.
What shoes are those, Ryan? What shoes are those? The Currys. Spoiled little brat.
Let's see. Another Colonite question here. I did Colonite 845 and Power Lock combo about 4 months ago on black paint.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a video I can watch that explains next steps on how to maintain?
Yeah, I mean, all the wash videos, like the M3 wash videos on how I maintain. You'll in a couple of months you'll need to yank it off, or 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now you'll need to remove it. So those will be all the decon steps of the larger detailing series. But otherwise, the wash and chats are on the M3 are a good series to watch. Those on how I maintain it. The general car washing package, top of bead maker is the way to go.
Any idea when your 4Ds with Gary V will be released? Is any of that released? I know that one little portion of it was.
Video.
Yeah, I mean, on his channel there was like a month and a half ago, and the podcast was on his channel. Of course, I had my portion on my channel, so there's that video. But yeah. So my channel, if you just search Gary V, or you go to Gary V, and it's probably just search 4Ds, and it was one. The guy has a Trainul shirt on. Trainul, Trainul, has a shirt on, I think, in the thumbnail of that video with Gary, and so that's the video that I'm in. I don't think you see me though. So that was the you spend an hour with Gary when you're not like in there all day with him. It was great though. It's amazing.
Can you make a hose reel combo with fittings for a non-pressure washer setup, just for some of us using foam guns?
Yeah, I'm want to head out to Arizona at some point before the end of the year, or worst case, I'm going to sit down with them at SEMA, and I'm going to draw up some hose reels that I want. I'd like some different colors, and I would definitely want to do garden hose, and it would make sense to come out with a foam cannon type garden hose solution for the different progressions. For those that don't have a pressure washer. Yeah, so yeah, that's in the medium list, not the short list, not the long list, but the middle list.
Let's see. I had to think 3 different people ask about pre-orders for Mosmatic. When is that beginning?
Bryce. Video's done. We did the video yesterday.
Yeah, well, videos.
I recorded. Okay, so I recorded the video. Bryce shot the B-roll and edited, so it's rendering. So we'll have the video up here probably. I would guess Monday or Tuesday. The products are all created. Photos are taken. We need to make sure we have the shipping algorithm all set up. The package is created for it, and so there will be an actual separate page. I'd like to make that the banner image too for the site. And so you'll be able to pre-order fittings as well, because the fittings are way cool. You're going to crap a brick when you see how expensive they are, but man, they're so cool. I know I'd buy them, so I'm guessing a lot of you will buy them too, but it's going to be like, it's $40 or $50 for a coupler instead of $8. So, that's what they cost. I didn't build them to a price point. I build them to what they cost. Build it to what I wanted. T304, amazing. 6-month warranted fittings is a pretty legit.
Noe, now I'm pronouncing his name correctly, wants to know how close are you to interior leather cleaner and conditioner? Are you going to carry Swiss Vax?
I'm going to carry Swiss Vax and Color Lock. So I'm going to have a full, like, advanced, like, every 6 months type system. And then I'm going to have just a regular, spot treat system from Swiss Vax. Yeah, we'll have that here real soon.
Someone noticed on the new product page Optimum Ferex,
Yeah.
but they hadn't seen a video and weren't sure what the deal was there. So what's the story with Optimum Ferex?
Just having a hard time with supply from CarPro, so Optimum builds it to order, and that's a product that I really don't give two craps about. I just spray it on and it removes iron. So CarPro, chemical guys, it doesn't really matter all that much. And so Ferex will replace CarPro, and that way I can just make bigger orders of Pearl and the eraser, and I'll just eliminate one of the CarPro products because we're bringing that over from Korea, and I have second priority because Corey has priority of CarPro USA, and so I'm in the dealer network, which is second priority, and so which is fine. I mean, I get that, and so just eliminated that because it's something that really doesn't matter that much to me. So yeah, the Optimum stuff is great, the CarPro's great, and so that was the reason for the change. We still have some CarPro left, so once we move out of that, then we'll be transitioning the
Optimum.
Yeah, Optimum will replace that in the main package in my systems from here on out.
And the Decon package as well. So
yeah,
we don't have any 1 liters left of Iron X, but we do have a couple gallons left. Let's see. Anything from Built Hamburg coming? Great iron remover and rust inhibitors. That's from Connor in the chat.
Yeah, I mean we're Pete Hamber, who I've been discussing, is waiting for have a rebranding effort. There's a new site and new branding for all the products, some new products coming out. And so after he completes that, he's going to come over here and we're going to have a couple of sit-down meetings discussing about the possibility of me being an importer or the importer for the product line, and whether or not that makes sense for the two of us. And so that's what I'm waiting for.
JC in the chat says, I bought the MTM SG28 from my Ryobi and I love it. Thanks, Matt.
Sweet.
There you go. What's a good paint depth gauge to get that won't break the bank? Looking to get one for my side detailing business.
Yeah, that's something I'd chase here soon. And I think Defelsco, I forget which model. There's really two major ones. There's that orange one, I forget what the econometer or something like eco-limiter.
You're looking at me, I don't know.
It's an orange paint depth gauge, but the Defelsco version is probably, the one I would choose. Go to
coating thickness.
I think so. Coating thickness, yeah. Oh, the Positector. Scroll down, the one on the left. Yeah, Positest DFT. D is in dog, F is in Frank, T is in Tom. That's the one to get, and I think it's $600. So I guess it depends on your definition of break the bank. And then what I'm going to be doing, if you scroll up there, is the Positector 6000 with some other types of attachment. It's the one time in my life where I called the guy and had him repeat the thing 3 times and I still don't know what he said. So I'm going to convince him to come here with all the stuff and show me, because I'm good at convincing people to do that kind of stuff.
Do you have any thoughts? Have you used Adam's new wheel and tire cleaner? I think that's the purple one that keeps popping up.
Say what?
Do you have any thoughts or experience with Adam's new wheel and tire cleaner?
I didn't even know there was one. There's a wheel and tire cleaner?
It's purple.
Oh, what do you know? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know anything about it.
All right, that's good. The person who asked the question about the paint depth thing. 600 isn't bad, just didn't want to spend over 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never used that one, but from what I understand, it's the best, in that range, that kind of mid-tier range. Now it will only do metal. It won't do, it won't do the plastic bumpers, and it won't do, carbon or magnesium, or I think it will only do aluminum and steel, like ferrous metals. I don't think it'll do magnesium.
Lots of questions here about, do you plan on getting jorts and Corvette Club jacket to wear while driving the Corvette?
No, I'm not planning on that. Definitely not. I'm hoping I win some trophies, though. That'd be cool. Maybe I'll get a mirror for underneath so I can show the plastic body panels.
I wonder if people at like Corvette Club meetings sit around and talk about BMW drivers in the same way.
I'm
Like those
sure,
young
yeah.
punks that don't use their turn signals.
Yeah, spiky hair with Ray-Bans and your fist pumping EDM, douchebags. Yeah, well, no, I don't plan on becoming a Corvette guy. Who knows? Maybe I'll be shipping my car to Corvettes Carlisle, get myself some trophies and some, some swag. I got to get a big plaque that lists all the specs, right? Just the factory specs. And I have, one of 500 built in the U.S. ever, and a carbon 65 version. Yeah, with all the carbon 65 removed.
That ain't a real one.
Yeah.
This is a good comment. You'll like this. I just sold an E36 M3 for a C5 Z06, and the white New Balances just appeared magically from UPS. I have to wear them. That's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to get a set of those. They look comfy. These guys always do look comfy. Don't they always have one of those belts that's like braided? Like a baited belt. Ryan wanted one of those. I'm like, dude, that's not cool. He's like, no, that thing is awesome. I was like, Ryan, that's like super nerd. That's like 80s nerd. So yeah, I got to get one of those belts and then tuck my shirt in all the time, right? Isn't that what you do?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like your shirt
There's
is
a-
just like super tight.
Yeah. I'm a little chubby for that, Bryce.
They all are.
Gotta
It's
show-
okay.
Gotta show it off.
Yeah.
It's all
I'm
relative.
like a Corvette person.
I definitely got to get like a sun visor you tuck on the dash. You got to keep the dash looking nice with like the eyes from like the cars, Yeah.
All right. It's 3:25. We rambled on here for a while.
Yeah, I
You
got to
any-
go shoot some videos. I got to go shoot the glass prep polishing and trim polishing and finish polishing. So we got to go do that real fast. But yeah, everything seems to be a success. Waiting for the shoe to drop. We'll have your meeting next week. That's when that's when Chris walks out on.
Yeah, this will be my last podcast. It was nice knowing you guys. No, so you'll be back. You guys are gone tomorrow, and you'll be back Tuesday.
I'm going
finally.
super white trash fancy to Jamaica. Yeah, I was kind of hoping the hurricane took it out, but sorry to Jamaicans, but yeah.
This will be good for all of you because this is the first time we've had you and Michelle and both your parents gone for any length of time.
Party time.
Oh yeah,
This desk is gonna be filled with piles of crap.
lots of good videos coming while you're
Oh
gone.
boy.
It'll be a good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Well, you guys can have put all that crap away that's out there. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Yeah, I think we'll probably have a giveaway at the Corvette after the success of this one, which that means I'm guaranteed to lose my shirt because I'm way too confident now. But yeah, maybe we should do it in the afternoon. We have more people.
Yeah, 359 watching now.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.